Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Hi, YouTube. How are you guys? Thank you for coming on board as always. As always. Thank you guys for coming on board. Hi, Brittany Brown. Thank you so much. Make sure you all hit that like button. Thank you, Brittany. How sweet of you. Did you miss me last week, Brittany? I was just telling Block Talk, the radio portion of it, that I took off last week to take care of myself. I actually went on a date. The date itself was nice. The date itself, like, there's a lot of measurements in dating, I figured out, right? So the date itself was nice. There were some components in the date that were uncomfortable. And so I had to figure out, am I looking through a micro glass, or can I tolerate something, right? I think here's what I've discovered. I've discovered that men think that they can do anything and be anything. Does that make sense to you guys? Men think that they could just act a certain type of way, and we as women would just put up with that, right? And I don't know what that is about men, but I wish that they would learn to have some dating protocols. There's some dating protocols that are missing with men. And so I just think that I'm wondering, I'm like, do men know how to be like dateable? Or do they just show up, shake their wee-wee, and we just accept anything because they came with a wee-wee? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? When you have men just be men without the consideration that somebody else is in the room, because they've never had to consider somebody else in the room because the men are the men. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I'm kind of glad I wasn't part of a system or a community or a tight community where the men rule. I'm kind of glad that never happened to me. I probably would have ran away. But I do come from an era where men are just men, right? And so anybody over 60 has an ideology in their personal manhood. You know? I don't know if that's making sense to you, but I prefer a metrosexual type of man that doesn't have some old rules inside their head about I can do anything that I want and I just don't have to consider. It doesn't make sense, but I know I'm trying to make sense, but it doesn't make sense. Looking to see if Melissa is on yet. Let me just let her know that I'm on. In any case, you know, we've been talking ever since, And this person just has a lot going on, a lot. And in my age bracket, I don't wish to have a lot going on, right? I wish for peace. I wish for calm. I wish for someone to come over and just hang out, go out to dinner, sit by the pool, right? I don't wish to have everyone else's drama in their life in my life. Because, by the way, I have my own drama, right? And I'm not a, what do you call it when you're emotionally holding someone's baggage? I'm not holding someone's baggage, right? About your life and your lifestyle and, what's going on with you. And I just feel like a lot was dumped on me instead of him holding back and getting to know me. I feel like it was like, okay, I've got somebody to talk to. Let me tell them everything that's going on in my life. And it's like, really? Really? In less than a week, you really thought you had to tell me everything? Everything? So that's actually a turnoff for me. Does anyone have anything similar to that? Giacana, do you understand? I would hope that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Garibel. Morning, sweetie. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Melissa Richards. Good morning and good health. How are you feeling today? Hope you're blissful and bright. I'm always blissful and bright. Thank you, Sophia. I work at Bliss. But I was talking to someone today, one of my group mates, and I just want to say to everyone, give yourself permission to be depressed. It's a whole thing, it's a whole feeling, and society doesn't like it. But in a metaphysical world, we have a lot of depressed people. So I'm not going to be here trying to tell you not to be depressed. I'm like, feel it, go in, get them covers, get a pillow, and be lazy, right? Because you're too sluggish to do anything else. And it's so robotic to have to get up and go to work when you're feeling a certain type of way. I say take days off, 3 in a row, you know, because depression is a trigger sometimes, like something triggers us. So I try to be bliss, but if I'm not, I'm just not. I'm not apologizing anymore. If today's a bad day, today's a bad day. And it happens. And if it's a bad week, oh well, it's happening a little longer than I'd like it to, but I'm not gonna stop it. I think sometimes when we stop it, then other people need that from us. They don't want us to be depressed. And I'm like, child, please. Yeah, Giaconda, people have forgotten how to court. And I know it's old school, but sometimes old school ain't bad. Right. And I can't say that he didn't know how to court. I'm not saying that necessarily. He did have the gentleman in him. I just think that there are other things that he was doing that was like, what the? What the? Why are you doing that? Oh, here goes Melissa. Oh, wait, let me just get let me just make sure Melissa can be heard. Settings, Bluetooth. I mean, I think I'm gonna like talk about my dating escapades. I think I'm gonna talk about it. I don't think I owe anyone anything. Melissa,
Good house.
good.
Hey, good house story. How you doing?
Good health, Melissa. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you something funny?
Yes.
So I had a dream last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I dreamed that I was at my grandma's house, family over.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma was talking from the front page newspaper.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
I know, and
It means
and they was telling her, it's grandma's time for you to go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like someone wants to turn the newspaper over. I'm like, what is that?
Well, Melissa, the news is information coming through.
Wow.
But it's anticipated
And
news.
it was just normal. Everybody's sitting there.
I love that you came through it in the newspaper. What you say?
The newspaper. The front newspaper.
That is too funny. I'm going to look that up, Melissa. You know how we can always find meanings on everything. Sometimes I have to go the magical meaning of newspaper. Sometimes, Melissa, something like that needs to be written down. You heard me? Mm-mm. I think did I lose you? Oh no. I just disconnected you? All right, Melissa, don't go anywhere. Continue. What happened? Melissa's still there. 1425. I went to go look for newspaper, and I think I disconnected the phone.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
Damn, what's going on? Something's wrong.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter.
The PIN you entered does not match the PIN you have on file for your account. To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
We're reconnecting you now.
Hello?
Melissa, I'm so glad
you hear me?
Yes. I disconnected myself.
Oh, did you get to hear what I said?
No, what did you say?
Oh, okay. So after the newspaper thing, my grandma's living room, there was a baby in the crib. There was water in the crib, and the baby was trying to sleep or something like that. But it was like, it bothered me, so I went to go complain. There was a pastor in there. The pastor kept trying to turn the baby to go to sleep in the water, right? And for some reason, the pastor the pastor kind of made the water a little hot, and I was like, no, that's not good for the baby. And I was just like, what is going on here? So I complained so they can take out some of the water. And I was just like, well, it could be a new birth.
Yes.
Some type of emotion that's when it comes to. It could be a new baby coming in soon because it was a little girl when she was turned.
Yeah.
The pastor was trying to turn her to the water like you don't want her to live. And I just didn't get it. I was like, what the F is going on?
Well, if it's a
went outside.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so when I was walking the dog this morning, coming back from his walk, there was no peppermints outside, right? We saw peppermint balls last night.
Uh-huh.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me.
When I came back from my walk, the peppermint balls were in 2 spots on the corner.
What
I
a
took a picture of it and I said, "Oh, Grandma, you sent the confirmation. That was your ass that came in the dream last night." Like, come on.
wait. Good morning. What are peppermint balls, Melissa?
Remember, I was talking about last night because we talked about your candle, and I was like, I like the smell. That remind me of my grandma. My grandma always bought me peppermint candy, the heart candy, but it was
Oh shit.
but it was a ball.
Oh shit. I missed that. I missed that.
Marie was saying last night that was her favorite too. It was her grandma's favorite.
Got
And I
it.
said my grandma always bought that for me because that's my favorite. Mm-hmm.
I saw Marie's comment about loving peppermint balls. I didn't see your comment.
Yeah, I think mine was up because I was saying that my grandma
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So
I was looking for it, but I remember we talked about the peppermint because I was telling her, I said that's my favorite because we talking about your candle smell.
yes,
Your candle. I said, oh, it smells good. And he said, yeah, it's like candy.
yes.
And I said, it reminds me of my grandma bought me peppermint ball.
Yes.
Because she always knew that's my favorite. That's one thing that I know she always used to buy me.
Yes.
And then Maria saying it was her favorite, or I think it was her grandma's favorite, something like that.
Yes. So now I missed a little bit yesterday because my phone was acting up. It's still acting up, by the way. I just have to charge it, not through the port that's normal. I got to charge it on a flat thing. And it's so funny, like how God is, because I was thinking today, I'm going to have to go out and buy one of those flat things to charge the phone when I already have one.
Yeah.
I already have one. I didn't see it, but for some reason, the pillow that was covering it, the pillow moved. And when I woke up this morning, I saw the thing to charge my phone differently. And I was like, sometimes you forget that spirit is around. You really do. You're having a human experience. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, I got to go buy one. It's going to cost me $50. Who has money for that? What if it doesn't work? I'm going through all this drama in my head. And spirit was like, you have one here. And I was dying this morning. I was like, oh, thank you, spirit. Thank you, God. But I love the fact that what y'all were talking about last night, just let me tell everyone, Melissa, it's the spicy chili pepper love candle. Hi, John. And I made the scent to smell like candy cane. And Melissa ordered the single candle, and she's like, oh, this smells like peppermint balls. But I didn't see that part. I only saw Marie answer. And then I answered Marie, and I was like, I tried peppermint, by the way, Melissa, but it was overpowering. So this scent has wintergreen in it.
It smells so good. Just it kind of bring you back to, bring you back to the family. Especially now I was thinking about my grandma. I said, oh my gosh, look at that, having a dream about grandma.
I love that. But also, let me tell you, dreaming about a newspaper means you have a need for information, or you want some insight into something in your waking hours. You may be seeking out the best and most current advice and answers to a problem. So, do you remember what your grandma was saying to you?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes when stuff like that happens, our spirit does remember. So never worry when you can't remember your dream, right? The cells in our body does remember. But Melissa, I was telling everyone that I went out. Huh?
Oh no, I was gonna ask you, what about the baby? The baby with the water.
Well, yeah. The way when you were explaining it to me, if I go by the newspaper meaning, right, which I didn't see right away, it just to me it seems like it's time for something new to be birthed, right? But who or what spiritually is stopping it? Spiritually, right?
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like one of my friends are pregnant, and I've told no one. I did not brag for her. I did not announce it for her. I could tell by the way she was putting her pictures out that she was keeping it from people on the IG. And so I just decided to follow her lead. Like I think sometimes people need to be protected, and I felt that. She doesn't know it. I have not told her yet, but I felt that for her. So I haven't announced it to anybody, and we have mutual friends, right? But
Right.
you know, the the fact that a pastor was in there, right? And not all pastors and priests
Right.
are good people, right? The presumption is that they're good people. Not
Right.
all are. Trying to stop the new birth just sounds to me like it was someone disguised as a pastor. So he got in disguised as a pastor because we trust pastors, but he was evil. So
Mm.
I think this could have a lot to do with Melissa relationships. It could have a lot to do with the new career development, right? And I
Right.
think sometimes being quiet is the best method.
I agree. It's like speaking, like just moving in silence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Especially if you're on the verge of an idea or anything. It's like just when you're okay. I'll give you a good example. No one knew about my candles until my candles were a thing. Once they were a thing, then I showed it in the group. But I didn't sit back and say, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about developing blah 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 blah." You know, and that's not against the group.
Mm-hmm.
That's not against the group. That's about me and purging something that doesn't need to be purged. But
Mm.
but once it
And then
was
you
a
know what too? It could be all good.
huh?
No, I said it's almost like keeping the evil eye off of you.
Thank you. That's it. That's it. But I think you said it best. Like move in silence now until it's a thing. Once it's a thing, then you could be like, guess what? I'm starting this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it might be something
That's
you
good
need to
advice. I mean,
practice.
everybody's listening.
What you say?
Mm. I said that's good advice, especially anybody that's listening right now.
Oh yeah, it's
Because
good
they probably
advice.
have a great idea to do something.
Yes, it's good advice for everyone. Everyone. Until there's a thing or a product, right? Now I didn't show it to the world yet, but once I had the concept, the tin, the flowers, once I put it together and made it, and then I looked for myself, I was like, oh, this is a thing. Then I showed the group. I was like, hey guys, this is what I'm doing. And then I got feedback, but the real feedback came when everyone brought the candles. That's the real feedback. But Melissa, Kay is saying, I keep seeing flowers for you in recognition of your daughter. Oh, and also at work. Flowers also mean rising from the earth, so you definitely have a silent power rising. She does, actually, Kay. Melissa is more on a quiet spectrum, but nothing's quiet about Melissa. She is an observer. And when she speaks, you will understand. And when she does her readings, really good. Thank you for that, Kate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Kate, woo, shout out to you, Kate. Happy rising and good health.
Priestess Ifa Sheye says good health to the chat group. Good health, Ifa Sheye. And Kate says, hey, you two, Purple Heart. Go ahead, Melissa. I'm sorry. I talked over you.
Oh, no. I know before I came on, you was about to talk about some love stuff, and I'm like, go ahead, because I was listening to some Whitney Houston this morning. So bring it on, lady. Bring it on.
Okay. So, let's get back to that. Because I've decided my love escapades are not going to be a secret. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about anyone anymore, right? And so, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't give a fuck, right? And so I went out on a really nice date, right? The technicality of a date, all the components were there. We went to a really nice restaurant. We had really good food. We sat by the water. Great conversation, right? The only problem that I had with the date, Melissa, is that he took out his dentures. And I was like...
Well, you know what?
Huh?
A lot of people can't eat with dentures because it hurts their mouth when they're eating.
Then eat soup.
It makes them uncomfortable when they eat.
Then
take it out.
Then eat soup. What if I sat there and was like, "Oh, child, you taking out your dentures? Let me take off my wig and my nails and my eyebrows." Like, what the?
Listen, I'm used to friends doing that around here.
You're used to what?
I'm used to it because I'm just like, people just, people, just friends with you talking, and then, they, try to take it out so they can eat. But, with a napkin or whatever. Which I understand.
Mm-hmm. I didn't understand it.
I learned over the years that it hurts when they eat. I mean, it's uncomfortable when they eat. They can eat with it, but it's uncomfortable, so they rather take it out when they eat.
Yes.
But at the same time, he could be like, you know what? I know this is inappropriate, but I can't eat well when I have it in my mouth. He could just be honest and say it.
Well,
I mean, he just act like he was just taking off his shoes to get a living room.
And that's my point. I was like, in my age bracket, right? I'm dating the 60-year-olds.
Mm.
So a lot of 60-year-olds are set in their ways, right? And there are things that have gone on in their lives that led to wherever they're at, let alone that led to wherever I'm at, right? And so I would just say not on a first date. That's what I would say. I would say have some decorum.
Mm-hmm.
Have some decorum. And order some soup, right? There was soup on the menu. Order some soup and just try to pretend for a minute. Like, let me get used to liking you before I have to get used to looking at your gums.
That's true. I can agree with that, especially with birthday. It's not like we know him forever. And you say, I'll do what you want.
Exactly. And I've just never been around men that didn't have their teeth. That's me. My dad had perfect teeth. Every man I've ever dated always had their teeth. So this was new to me.
No.
Right? So,
right.
I just, if I'm sitting there and I think I'm looking pretty, I think you're looking sharp, and then it comes down to let me take my teeth out, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was almost like, you was like, this is going too good to be true.
It was. I was like, this is too good to be true. And then the teeth came out, and I was like, oh, that's why. And right after that, it was kind of downhill because he has a lot of family stuff going on, and I was like, okay. So I decided that we're better friends, not dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was too much for me too fast. So I just had a really good conversation, and I was like, I don't think romantic overtures would work for me right now. But let's be friends, right? Let's be friends. That way, if I'm your friend, I'm not going to mind you taking out your dentures. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to another restaurant. Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, another restaurant.
We went to another restaurant on Wednesday.
I love food. Go ahead.
Me too. I love food. We went to another restaurant on Wednesday, and the waitress was flirting with him. And I was like, girl.
On that date? And I'm like, listen.
I know.
Excuse me.
I know.
Are you working for your tip? Or you want to be the tip?
She wanted to be the tip. And I'm not good at arguing, so I decided to watch him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to argue with another woman on an island I don't know nothing about. So I decided to watch him and see where he's at when somebody else flirts with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then at the same time, on this date, because the woman was flirting with him, right? He didn't take out all of his dentures. He took out the bottom dentures and then threw them in the garbage.
What?
It was a nightmare.
No way.
But I was laughing. I was like, that's what you get for letting this woman, like, flirt with you. I was like, good. That's karma right there. So he had to go up to this woman and the waitress. We had a different waitress, but this woman who was also a waitress kept coming to talk to him. And then he throws out his dentures, and I was cracking up. I was like, ha ha, that's what you get. So now he had to tell both ladies that he threw his dentures in the garbage. And everybody had to go search for the dentures.
No way. That's so embarrassing.
I was cracking up.
And you're like, you can have them now.
Yeah. I was like, ha ha, there you go. Ha ha.
You can have them. Enjoy, honey. Enjoy.
I was dying. I was so tickled black. I was sitting there and I was going, ha ha. And then it got worse. I didn't even know this. It got worse. So he comes out from where he was, and he's like, I was looking for my dentures. The waitress picked it up because it was wrapped in tissue. And I was like, oh, I'm so, I was like, oh, wow. And I was dying inside, right? And then we were just sitting there for a little bit longer when the younger waitress, not the one that was flirting with him, the younger waitress goes, she comes out, she's so raw, and she goes, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry I threw out your dentures. And I was like, oh, this is embarrassing now. This is completely embarrassing. But by Friday, I had a conversation with him and I said, I wish you could have handled the waitress a little better. Right? I said, I'm the type of person you're gonna see. Oh, but guess how good God is, right? So he goes to walk me to the taxi, right? And then he goes,
Right.
He's like doing a man's job, right? And he's like, oh, I need you to take my girl home, whatever. But I had already, when he was talking to the taxi, I had already walked around to the taxi because the taxi was my friend. And the guy goes, the guy goes, oh, I know Tracey. That's my girl. Like that. I was dying. I said, see, you let somebody flirt with you. Yes. He goes, I know Tracey. That's my girl. I know where she lives. But he was saying it like matter of fact, like yeah, like he wasn't like trying to up him, but he was trying to let him know, like, I got this. I was dying. So then I left him, right? Because he was talking to the taxi. So he comes to run up behind me and he goes, oh, you're getting in the front seat? And I was like, yeah, I know the driver. Yeah, I'm getting in the front seat. Oh, I'm sorry. You let someone flirt with you and God made sure someone was there for me. Who are you kidding? You don't know my spiritual, powerful people. They're not going to let your ass get away with that shit. Not in this day and age.
No.
Maybe when I was in my 20s. Maybe, Melissa, maybe when I was in my 20s and I let people tell me who I was, you can't tell me who I am anymore. My spiritual people was like, Tracey, we got a guy. He gonna do you like that? We got a guy waiting for you. Let's go, Tracey. I let him know. I was like, and then when I got home, I was kind of upset, so I didn't even bother calling him. But Friday, I had a conversation with him, and I was like, you know, that whole flirting thing, I'm not down for that. Right? I was like, you're 63. You're 63. Like, you're not in your 30s. Like, I'm never going to fight another woman over no man, ever. Period. I was like, it is your job to handle that.
That's right.
And then, you know, and that was it. So
Was so bold. I'm like, they are so bold to be like acting like that, you know, being all, you know, I want to be the tip.
Yeah.
When you want to date with somebody, you know, it's sad because if that's the way they have to do to get a man, they're stooping low.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
really
not.
low.
It's
You know,
not
and it's like,
my game. Sophia goes, I would have checked them both. Oh, and that's what I said to him, Sophia. I was like, let's be friends because the next woman that flirts with you, I will help her. I'll help her get you. So let's be friends. He wasn't expecting that from me. He was kind of shook up a little bit, and I was like, oh well. Oh well.
You know what, too? Probably was a little cocky.
Yes.
You know, like, I got her ready so I could just do whatever I want.
Exactly.
You know, and not realizing.
Exactly.
He showed who he was.
He showed who he was.
And knowing that women count to him.
Yeah. But he's not dealing with a 30-year-old. Like, y'all men gotta be much nicer. when you're dealing with a grown ass woman, grown ass. Like, and I'm a survivor? Are you kidding me? It don't work that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's you know what too? It's like your monsters were holding you back and said, Tracy, don't say nothing to these girls. Let them show. Let the show go on.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, it's not worth saving.
No, and I'm not gonna.
You know what's good?
Hmm.
Huh?
No, what were you gonna say?
Know what you're saying?
No, I was gonna say.
No, I said your monsters. They said he's not worth saving. So they pulled you back.
Exactly. Plus, I'm on an island with brand new people. The last thing I'm gonna do is fight any woman over any man. I'm on an island, folks, where they all know each other. That ain't happening. It's not happening. So to come along and take my man, and he's that easy? Here, go ahead. Because if you don't take him in my face, you're gonna take him behind my back. So I just rather know who you are. Yeah, I'm not trying to stop nothing, right? I want everyone around me to be natural, to be free, to be open. Be who you are. That's men, that's women. Be who you are. So if he can't stop someone from flirting, we're supposed to be on a date, that's who you are. I'm just glad I could see it. Because when you start fighting a woman over a man, when you start fighting a woman over a man, then you teach him how to be more sneaky with you. Yeah. It's all eyes on me or nothing. What you saying?
This is very good advice.
Thank you.
If I go on a date, whatever, I'm going to learn to, go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And let him show me who he is.
Yes. And don't stop him, right? Because the bottom line is you want to know you have a man that's worthy of you, that's kind, that's considerate, right? Because there's a couple of things that I did check, but I'm also a very funny person. So when we were at the first restaurant, he told me what he was going to eat, and I told him what I was going to eat. But I ran to the bathroom. When I got back, he had ordered. And then she came over to me, and she goes, are you ready to order? And I looked at him because I could tell something was wrong. And I was like, did you order already? And he goes, yeah, I did. And I was like, but in my mind, I'm like, one, I told you what I was going to order. But two, you should have said to her, wait till she gets back.
It's like he was rushing.
No, he wasn't, Melissa. He's just inconsiderate. He's a man. And it's like, I do what I want to do because I'm a man. Like, that's how it felt to me. Not that he was rushing. He just didn't understand protocol. So I didn't say anything to him, but I checked it. Melissa, it wasn't even about patience. I promise you. It's about him. This is how he responds to life. Sometimes you don't have to label all of it. This is his character. So when I got back and the woman came over and she's like, it must have been the way she said, are you ready to order? It was something like that. And I was like, did you order? And he was like, oh yeah, I did. And I was like, okay. And so I just ordered, my food. But in my mind, I'm checking him. And I'm like, why wouldn't he say what I wanted, but then I could see him not doing that? Or why wouldn't he say, I'm going to wait for her before I order? Why would he just order?
That was polite. Wait until she come back, and then we can order together.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, that's showing. That's showing that, you know, how can I say? It shows that, you know, communication.
Thank you.
Right? If we're not communicating with you, it's like you coming in there and you sitting down. He ain't telling you because he knew he did it, right? But he felt like, oh my God, like it was kind of wrong, but I'm still not gonna say nothing.
Exactly.
And the waitress got him on blast. She got him caught because she's like, did you order? He got in trouble.
Yes. And that was the first date. So when I check little things. It doesn't mean I'm gonna bring it up and check you, but it does mean that there might be a bigger problem, right? And so, what I did was I just ordered. I'm on a date. I'm gonna make the best of this date. I'm gonna have fun, and we did. We laughed. We joked. He took his dentures out when the food came. And I was like, oh, okay, problem number 2. What? I was like, what? And so, again, Melissa, I said I can enjoy my date. Even if the man has no teeth in his mouth, I said, I could do this. And I still made myself enjoy his company. Like, technically, he did have good company, right? Technically. But then, you know, by the second date, even though we had been talking quite often, by the second date, for the woman to flirt with him, I was like, oh, shit. It looks like I'm going to have problems with this guy every time we go on a date. Like something new keeps developing. So.
It's like you just never know what he has in his suitcase.
Yes. It's like surprise.
I'm
like, what? No. So there's some other things that I'm not telling you, Melissa. Thank God. You don't want to know some of the other things that I found out. So you're just gonna have to trust me that there's some.
Yeah, just please. Yeah, that it's you was like, do I want a headache every day?
No, I don't.
Like, I need my peace of mind, my
Yes.
serenity.
Yes, my
and I
serenity.
love that when you say worthy. I love when you say that, where you're like, is this man's worthy of me? Because
right.
I was thinking about it yesterday about how about just, I feel like now that men see that the whole abortion thing, it's going to make men, like you said, it's going to make men say, you know what, no more sex. It's like they switch roles.
Right.
They're going to be like, oh, no more sex for me. And they're going to be like, either we're going to wear a condom or we're going to get married, something. It's like cheating's kind of going to, it feels to me like cheating's going to go away just a little bit.
Damn. That sounds...
Because you can't take away, you can't take away the mistake.
Right.
Right? It's going to be like an add-on. Because they say, hey, come to New York, we're passing the bill. It's going to be an add-on.
Yes.
And it's I think it's going to make men really be more cautious and say, is this person I'm sleeping with worthy? Are we a unit? Are we together?
Yes. Yes.
So, wow.
I agree.
I was like, I just really think that's going to make people really think now, the men. I think, sometimes it's going to take a lot. But they're going to be like, oh, my God. Because before, a guy could tell you, oh, just go get it done. You don't have to spend anything. I used to hear men say to women, go to Planned Parenthood. It's free. You can go get it done, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to take, you can go get the pill and stuff like that. Now they can't have that excuse anymore. They can't tell no woman that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
yep.
They are going to be they're going to have to get 2 jobs.
Yes. Oh my God. So the good part, Melissa, is that I am trying to date. That's the good part. So moving on.
I love that. Enjoy yourself, and that's the most important, to have fun. And I love the fact that that you pay attention to details. But not a lot of people do. They say, well, I'm lonely. I don't got nobody. So I'm just going to take whatever comes to me.
I know. And I just think that I got to package them differently now, right? Let's package them in a way where it's like your friend category. You're not dateable category. Right? And I think it's okay to look at it that way, right? Of course, I want someone to date. Of course, I want a man. But I think I have to just know, like, who I'm sleeping with. That's what it comes down to. It comes down to sex, to be honest with you, and the exchange of that energy. And is he healthy for me?
That's true. That is so true.
Because once he took the teeth out, the sexual energy went right out the door. I was like, oh, I can't. I've never kissed a man with no teeth. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Hilarious.
At least partials. Partials, I don't mind. I don't like fangs. When he said he needed to take his dentures out, I was like, God, please do not let him have fangs. But it was worse. It was no teeth.
Wow.
So. True deeds. I don't care. I can't.
Listen, well, okay, we got standards. We have to, sometimes we see a guy, it could be the handsomest guy in the world, but then when you get to know him, you be like, oh my God, he's an asshole.
That's what
and this is what everybody's in sweatpants. I don't want to.
But Melissa, that's what I think I discovered. I think he was too raw right away. And I want to tell all the men out there, there's got to be some standard protocol that you guys assign yourself to, right? Just hold it in for a minute. Hold the information, hold your sexual energy, hold it in. Get to know someone before you start to unravel your mess. And Kate said women need to have more respect for other women. And I agree. And then she says she hears Beyonce's song, It Sucks to Be You Right Now, talking about him. Yeah. I had more respect for the woman flirting with my date than she had for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be a Caribbean thing, Melissa, because I leaned into him and I was like, her name is Stella. I'm going to call her Stella. And he didn't get it right away, but it's Stella got your groove. Like, I think a lot of Caribbean women sleep with American men because they know the men are going back home. Same thing with the women. They come to the Caribbean hoping to sleep with some spicy, long lock wearing Caribbean boy, man, but usually they're like in their 20s. The women are usually in their 40s, right? And
Right.
they get to go back home to their sexless lives, but they come here for a pounding and then they go home. Do you know what I mean? And there's just this,
Yeah.
there's this Stella mentality in the Caribbean. I didn't think I saw it when I first got here. I know I saw it in the Bahamas when I went to visit there. I saw it in St. Lucia. I saw it in St. Kitts. I had a guy like follow me, and my son and his then girlfriend was way behind me. And I kept looking at the guy and I was like, you better stop. But he didn't want to stop because he was used to being aggressive with women. And I said, I swear to God, I do not want you. I swear. Right? And he would not stop until my son caught up. And my son had to get in his face. And I was like, I was trying to tell you. But you didn't want to hear me. I said, now my son had to get in your face. I said, we all going to be in jail tonight. We're all going to be in a Caribbean jail. You touch him, his wife is going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. So what you got? Because we all going to wind up in jail. Like, I'm just not, I'm not the Stella type. So I didn't think it was here in St. Croix, but she showed me that it's possible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've never watched that movie before, you know.
Ugh, don't. It's disgusting. I've never liked that woman.
I don't know. I don't like.
I've never liked that woman.
I never watched the.
I've never liked that woman. I forget what her name is. I didn't like her book. I read the book. I saw the movie. I've never liked her. And I didn't like that she plucked that poor kid, worked out his immigration issue. But to me, she was bringing him to America to be a slave. That's the way I saw it. I never liked her. She was on Oprah. Everybody thought it was so cute and innovative that she went to the Caribbean and got her groove on with some. I was like, you're pathetic. And then it turns out, you want to know the kicker? It turns out he was always gay.
Wow.
Terry McMillan is the writer. It turns out, because Karma's a bitch, right? Karma's a bitch, right? You pull this kid from his land. You're using him as a sex toy. You make a book out of him, right? You make money off of him and his story. To me, you make him look like a jackass. She totally changes the dynamic of Caribbean life, because that's when, after this book came out, that's when girls started going on girl trips. Do you understand? Yes. She was the one that changed that dynamic. So you go on a girl trip. Some of the girls are married. Some of them aren't, right? The guys know that the girls are in town, whatever. They party with you. There's sex in another room. You go back to your husband sometimes, or you go back and you're like, acting like all prim and proper, like you just did not twerk your ass, right? And these are
Right.
qualified women. I'm not talking about trashy women. These are qualified, educated women that drive Mercedes, and they come to the Caribbean because whatever. It's just, she was the one that changed that dynamic. That woman by herself.
Wow.
She changed how the industry traveled. She changed how women travel. And this whole Stella Got Your Groove, that shit is real. I watched it on my date because that woman did not care. You know the difference between a West Indian man and an American man. It's obvious. They look different.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And she came
Like
for
they know
her
that you're not
American
from the
man.
island.
Huh?
It's like they know you're not from there.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And she was coming for her American man. Yeah, in my face, you know.
Mm.
And then he was telling her, he was like, oh, my daughter opened up a restaurant. And she's like, I'm always looking for a good restaurant. Because you know, me and my girlfriends, we always looking for a good restaurant. And I'm like, bitch, you're on the island. You should know all the restaurants. Who you kidding? You live here, ho.
Exactly.
I was like, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Don't show your ass, Tracy. He is not worth it. Don't show your ass. And I did not. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Lottie. And when all is said and done, oh boy was always gay. So who used who? Who used whom? He was always gay. So she got him his immigration papers and this book and changed how black women in general travel. All the while, he's gay. So the joke was on her. Yep.
The joke was on her.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Who would know, like, a book would be, it would be such an impact.
It had
that it would make women change and
it had a huge impact. I mean, huge. People loved Terry McMillan, and all they could think about was, let me go to the Caribbean. I gotta go. Hey, girls, let's go to the Caribbean. Whatever. All right, Melissa.
That's sad.
It is sad. All right, Melissa. I know we were talking about dating and laughing and all that good stuff, but we got to get down to the dirty business of revelations.
Yeah. Let me see. Which one are we on now?
I think. Okay, I think we're on 17. Remember, the water turns red. The men. The sun burns the people. The water turns to blood. The sea turns to blood. Darkness came. These are all the angels. God called them angels. And only darkness would come. And then the Euphrates dried up. And remember, we got to the part where we were like, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he who watches and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So I think we're at 17.
17, the Babylon? The prostitute of the beast?
The seventh bowl. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Melissa. No, we're at chapter 16, 17. Chapter 16, verse 17. 16. Do you have it?
I'm on chapter chapter 16 on 17?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you,
Says the seven angels poured out his bowl into the air?
yes.
Okay.
Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Go for it.
The seventh angel poured out his bowl into the air, and out of the temple came a loud voice from the throne, saying, "It is done." Then there came flashes of lightning, rumbling, peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake.
Mm.
No earthquake like had ever occurred since mankind has been on earth.
Mm.
So tremendous was the quake. The great city split into three parts,
Mm-hmm.
and the city of the nation collapsed.
Mm.
God remembered Babylon the Great and gave her the cup filled with the wine of the fury of his
Wrath.
Every island sailed away, and mountain could not be found.
Mm.
From the sky, huge hailstorm, each weighing about 100 pounds, fell on people,
Mm.
and they cursed God on account of the
Plague.
plague. I keep forgetting that word, plague of Paul, because the plague was so terrible.
Hold on, Melissa. So the part where it says, and there were noises and thundering and lightning, and then there was a great earthquake, such a mighty and great earthquake as had not occurred since men were on earth. Now, I'm talking to you too, Melissa. I don't know if you recognize what that means, because in California, we are always expecting an earthquake so bad that part of California separates. That is one of the theories we've always lived with, that an earthquake comes so bad that there'll be a part of California that will be floating separately, right?
Right.
On the opposite end, right? I'm as far opposite from the States, right? I'm past Puerto Rico, I'm past Cuba, I'm past the United States. So on the opposite end, east, right? The theory here is that if there's an earthquake so great that St. Thomas could fall in this huge black hole that is next to St. Thomas. Do you understand?
Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. St. Croix won't fall, but St. Thomas is literally next to a huge black hole. And you could see it from Google Maps. So that if there's a massive earthquake, and look in the Bible, it says there's one coming that has never been seen, right? On one end, California
Right.
could separate on one end. On the other far end, and how ironic is it that the West Indian belongs to the Americas? So it's ironic, right? So on the other far end, if an earthquake comes on this end, out of the three islands, St. John, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Thomas could fall in the hole. So I just find it interesting.
You know what, too? You know what, too? Just knowing how it talks about, like, the 3 parts and just knowing that that's like the biggest earthquake. You know, I always heard my grandma always said, bad things happen in 3.
Mm.
And I didn't know there was a black hole by St. Thomas. So wow.
And it's huge. It's huge. So,
wow.
If there's an earthquake, what does an earthquake do? It shakes the land up, right?
Shakes the land. Mm-hmm.
So, what if the earthquake is in the water? Right? If it's in the water, then that's a tsunami. Did you guys know that when Japan had their last earthquake, it was a 9 point something, 9.0, 9.1, 9.2. The reason why we're having climate changes, listen to this, is because, I'll put it in the feed, Melissa. When Japan had the last earthquake, they tilted the Earth's axis. So the Earth was no longer stationed where it used to be. That's why we're having climate changes. But the scientists don't say that. They don't want you to believe.
So it's like we shift.
We shifted. Yes. Yes, Melissa. And yes.
Because it's been cold up here in New York. We still wear the coat.
Listen to me.
We're having so much high wind.
I know.
I felt that in my life.
I know. And what happened was Japan's earthquake did that. It shook the core of the earth. So the earth shifted. It's crazy. Most people don't know that, though. So when they keep talking about climate change, we got to fix climate change. They're right. They do have to fix it, but they have to fix it in a way where and they have to tell the people that the earth axis changed. And when it changed, what used to be a normal wind pattern, if the shift, even if it's slight, the normal wind pattern is still there, but the earth isn't there. So if there's a slight shift where a normal wind pattern comes along and there's a little shift down from the normal wind pattern, the wind doesn't change, the earth changed. So if the earth changed, you're right, New York City could be getting colder and colder because there was a real shift. They don't tell people that. It's so scary.
No.
Right?
And I'm like, where's spring at? I'm like, we're wearing winter clothes. We've been getting rain and heavy wind. And the winds be so strong. I think one night we had a rainstorm and the wind was so strong, Trace, you could hear like the windows wanted to break.
Yes.
That's how strong the wind was.
Yeah, I believe you.
And I was like, what is going on? So, it's like also, it just remind me again, like with the, you know what too, Tracy?
What's that?
What's that card? The wheel. The wheel. That wheel card in the tarot oracle deck. The what they call it? The world card.
Yeah.
And you can see there's 4 different parts, right? We have the different seasons.
Yeah.
And, like you said, it had a shift.
Yes.
So maybe that world card, because the world card is something that always turns, right?
Yep.
So we just got unbalanced.
Now listen to this. I looked it up. It said the earthquake off Japan's coast may have shortened the length of Earth's days by about 1.26 microseconds and shifted its axis by about 6.5 inches. So that's the climate change issue. That's why the ice glaciers are melting, because the earth isn't standing where it should be standing. So let me tell you another way. Do you know how when you look at your teeth, right? Right? Don't we always look at children's teeth when the second set starts to come in, right? And you start to see that, oh, this tooth isn't acting right, right? And you got to take your child to the dentist, have them x-ray it, have the dentist say, no, this is normal, or let's start braces nice and early, right?
Right.
Simultaneously, when you begin to get older, your teeth shift, Melissa, right? And you notice the shift.
That's true.
Yes, and you notice the shift. Everybody don't have to notice it, but you notice it. Hello. That is what happened to the earth. It's that slight shift in your teeth that you're like, what? Now I got to go to the dentist. I got to ask the doctor if this is normal. Can I afford braces? Can I afford Invisalign, right? If you can't afford those stuff, then your teeth will continuously shift. But if that's a good example to understand how the earth axis shifted as well. And 6.5 inches. Yes. Melissa, 6.5 inches is huge. You add 6 inches to your waistline, we got a problem. So I'm just trying to give you examples of how the Japan earthquake changed the earth. So if we're reading the Bible and the Bible goes, oh, don't even look at Japan, there's something better coming. Ciao. From what I know in Los Angeles, we're always waiting for the big one, always. But we are always in a position of saying, I mean, ask any of my California people. We're always in a position of saying there's going to be an earthquake that's going to separate parts of California. And now that I'm over here.
So you're always prepared.
Well, but you can't be prepared for that kind of earthquake, Melissa. Like mentally, we know it. Huh? Mentally, we know it.
I said not the one that they have.
Say that one more time.
No, I said it's not like the one that they have in China, though. Not that big.
But in Los Angeles, we're expecting something bigger that would separate the land. We're always, that's the one thing you can, any California knows, we're always expecting that one. But that one, to separate the ground, that has to be, okay, here's what I'm trying to say. If Japan's earthquake can change the earth axis by 6.5 inches, and that was just the 9.0, what number earthquake could it be to separate the land from each other? And then in the Bible, it's going to be a big one. And then in the Bible, it's kind of preparing us. The Bible's like, hey, listen, let me tell you what's going to happen. There's going to be some noises. And let me tell you something, Melissa. Okay. Oh, my God. Earthquakes. When an earthquake is occurring, you hear it first. The earth rumbles, right? and it's like a loud door opening, and you're usually it's in the middle of the night, and you're like, what is that noise? That's one type. Another type is you feel like Godzilla is walking outside, because it's like boom, 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 and you could hear it coming to Melissa. It's crazy. You could hear the earthquake coming to you. It is so crazy. So in the Bible, it says there were noises and thundering and lightning, and then there was a great earthquake, one so mighty and great as it had not occurred since men were on earth. What? What? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's going to be crazy. I'm just wondering if it's going to be like simultaneously. Like, is the West Coast going to get it and the Caribbean's going to get it? Like, what the hell's going to happen? You know what, Melissa? I'm also wondering if, like, remember, we haven't always been around, right? You and I. But
Yeah.
I've often wondered if the Caribbean occurred because of a great earthquake. Right?
You know what, Tracy, you ever thought that maybe an earthquake can like glue everybody closer together?
Can an earthquake bring people closer to?
Like say like it shifts. Say like, okay, I know I'm exaggerating, but say like Africa was shifted and got and clicked onto America, right?
Uh-huh.
Just say from the earthquake, right?
Yes.
Then it will be a different climate change.
Yes.
Right? And not only that, but it'll be different.
Yes. But
you know, like something that will go closer, that will separate more.
I think it will be more chaos first before people feel that they have to get together. I think the whole objective to this change that God is going to provide is to tell us he doesn't like the way we're operating. So I don't think it's going to be all love and kumbaya. I think if an earthquake comes, Melissa, you've never felt an earthquake, right?
No, I never.
It's mortifying. You are shook up. And that's on a little 3.0 earthquake. You're shook. Anything over a 9 is crazy. So I think that, yes, could ultimately people form better people out of this? Absolutely, because I think you're right. That's what God is going to be trying to tell us. Like, I don't like you. And the ones that survive, I want the ones that survive understand why it had to happen. And I want better people out of the survivors. But for the most part, we're going to get shook up. Then there's tsunami has to come, right? Then there's pieces of one land falling away. Like, if California breaks up, you know what people are going to say? First of all, it's not going to be any lights, right? And people are going to be like, how do I get back? How do I get back? I don't want to be over here. Like, it's going to be so scary that people aren't going to understand that what's the reason behind it. So I think it's going to be like 100 years before people readjust if God has this world event, catastrophic world event. See, it feels like Noah to me, right? The only difference is that God said he'll never do it again in one shot. He didn't say, I'll never do it again.
So it's like he'll do it again, but it's gonna be little by little, kind of.
Yes. Yes. And the good part is, the way I see it, somebody will always survive. Always, Melissa. Always. And I think God is just trying to say, those that do survive, like, be better. Build back up, but be better. So I think you're right. Is that something good that can come out of it? Absolutely. But Melissa, you and I may not be here. I'm not sitting here waiting for no damn earthquake. We may not be here.
I know.
And if you notice, Melissa, children are not being born. So I think the children are up in heaven going, I'm not going down there during no earthquake, God. You better, I'm going to wait. Once you settle out what's going on down there, because the children are not being born. They're not trying to come down. Women aren't trying to have babies anymore. Remember when that was the only thing everybody ever wanted? And now it's like, I don't know, baby. I don't know. I feel kind of fucked up. How do I bring a baby into this world? And it turns out that there might be an agreement between women not wanting to have babies anymore and babies not wanting to come down anymore.
It's like they say, I don't want to experience it. Oh, this is what the life's going to be when I come down there. Like, nope.
Nope. Nope.
No, thank you.
Nope. I feel like it's the movie 22 or the movie Soul. Remember when the little girl was like, I'm not doing this earth thing. Right? And you have rights up there. Your soul has rights. You don't have to get on that line to come down to be, a child of a mother that's a drunk. You're like, no, I did that already. I didn't like it. I'm not doing it again. I'm going to wait it out. And so a lot of the souls might be waiting for new earth.
That makes sense.
I'm just saying, I'm speculating, child. I don't know. It's just, spirit. I don't know if it's all true. I just know I see babies aren't trying to make it down here anymore. What you say, Melissa?
And especially the COVID, they be like, oh, I gotta wear a mask. Oh no, I'm staying there.
Yeah.
So maybe like, no, I don't, especially I feel bad when the little kids are like 3 years old, they gotta wear the mask. And it's just like, they don't know what fresh air is like.
Yeah, that's true. But I also see the younger kids wearing a mask better than their parents.
Yeah. Oh, the parents be just having their nose all out.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, child.
You want that to be my parent? No, thank you.
Exactly. And I think children are up there going, God, no, I'll wait for new earth. I'm not going down there. I'll wait for new earth. But listen, Melissa, so it says, now the great city was divided in 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. So if there's a big earthquake...
It sounds like government. That sounds like government.
Yes.
Like the government's going to fall.
Yes.
The government cannot save us if we have such a big earthquake. It cannot save us.
Exactly.
So
they can't save themselves. Yes. They can't save themselves. And then it says the great Babylon was remembered before God to give up the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Listen to this, Melissa. Then every island fell away, and the mountains could not be found. How crazy.
It's like everything will be covered in water.
Yes, Melissa. Yes. or the earthquake is so bad that it'll cut through a mountain. Can you imagine that? That the mountain crumbles. Can you imagine that? California is full of mountains.
Wow. Full of mountains. Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? And by the way, Melissa, if a quake is so big that it could crumble a mountain, the quake is from underneath the mountain. When the mountain crumbles, it's crumbling from the top. So imagine a quake from underneath and a mountain falling from the top. That's just another earthquake. Do you understand?
So it's like creating more, a bigger impact.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And Melissa, when I was in Hawaii consists of 7 islands. That's what Hawaii stands for. 7 islands, not one location, 7 locations.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is sinking. They have to get the people off the island because it's sinking. Now, Melissa, listen to this.
Wow.
Listen to this. As the irony would occur, when I went to Italy and landed on Venice, the sea was on the island. The sea was.
Wow.
Because Venice is...
So it's like baby steps. It's like things are going to start to drown, but it's like no one will notice until it, you know.
Yes, Venice is sinking. And I said to God, because I'm always talking to God, I was like, God, what are the odds? What are the odds that you take me to one country, right, island, and that's sinking, I go way across to a whole nother place, continent, and they have an island sinking. And then I went to Jerusalem, and Jerusalem had such a bad drought that they had to figure out how to repurpose seawater.
Wow.
Yes. Jerusalem gets its water from the sea. Yes. I mean, it's just crazy, right? It's just crazy what you discover.
That's like going to the beach and not seeing the water get lower and lower.
So if you ever go to a beach and you see the water not there, get out. There's a tsunami next. Don't be fascinated. Don't be like...
I hear those are really huge.
Yeah.
The tsunamis, like, I mean, I got to see, like, you know, when they show it virtually, how high the water gets. It's like
yes.
Almost like a building.
Yeah.
That's how high the water gets.
Yeah. So if you ever look at your water and you see where's the beach going, and the beach is 10, 20 miles away from you, and you see fish flapping, get out. Get on the highest part of the ground you can find, but don't stay there because you're going to meet God in a minute. It ain't pretty. It's not pretty.
Listen, that is good advice for me to learn to be like, you know what? It's fascinating, but we're going to get the hell out of here.
Yes. Don't stay and look at that shit. Just know something is not right. That's not what the sea should be doing. Get the fuck out. Period. So funny.
I don't know how to look at it when they had the tsunami. I don't know how they did it. Just to see how virtually it looks.
Yeah.
They would really have to go run somewhere far.
Well, I think if we look at it another way, Melissa, not everybody's supposed to survive. There's a reason for all these catastrophic events. There's a reason for COVID. People are not meant to survive. People are meant to go home. People are meant to, review their lives, right? Those of us that stay,
Right.
those of us that stay are supposed to see how to be better. But what if we've noticed school shootings, this, that, and the third? It's more. I don't know about the other countries. I know America's out of control. So we're not learning our lessons. If we would learn our lessons, I don't think all these events would occur. But we're not learning our lessons. Soon as COVID no longer became a real problem, even though it's still there, guys, don't get me wrong. What does Putin do? Invade Ukraine. What does Israeli do? There's genocide with the Palestinians. We're supposed to be in lockdown, people. Why are we annihilating whole cultures? So we're not learning.
Mm-hmm.
We're not learning.
Yeah.
And so when the book says, now the great city was divided in 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, you're right. That's about politics and everything. So more has to come because we're not learning. And we're trusting our leaders to do the right thing. But I can't imagine that all the Israel people agree with killing all the Palestinians. I can't believe that. I refuse to believe that the people agree with the government. I refuse to believe that the Russian people agree with Putin. And yet, there Putin is, just slaughtering the people in Mariupol.
It's terrible,
Yes, it is. So my point to you is,
people don't realize.
What's that?
You know what I hear too when you was talking?
Uh-huh.
Spirit says, war brings no order.
Wow. I could see that, Melissa. It just brings death.
Mm-hmm.
It just brings death. Like if you look at the history of Russia, it started out, I forget which one, but it used to be the USSR. Then it used to be the Soviet Union. Then it became Russia, right? Because people did not want to live under this restrictive environment. So Russia kept getting broken down until it became a small section of what used to be a big community. I think it started out USSR, I think so. The map I used to look at didn't say Russia, and then it changed to Soviet Union. And that was an agreement of different countries being together. But ultimately, Russia kept trying to be the big bad daddy. And then people were like, Russia, go be by yourself. We're not trying to have this. Ukraine used to be Russian. Good point.
Too, it reminded me of the whole. It reminded me of like the Russians wanting their cookie jar. They had a cookie full of cookies, right? That means all the little cities or whatever they had. And the more they eat, the more they lost.
Right. Right. And Magic Mermaid says, I think Putin doesn't care about Ukraine at all. That's why he is destroying it. It's a show of force. He's mad because the real powers won't let him have a real seat at the table. He does seem a little like spoiled.
Yeah.
He seems spoiled to me. Well, if they're not going to give me what I want, then I'm just going to take all my toys away. My God. And Keisha
He's like a
says,
little 3-year-old having a tantrum.
what you say?
I say he's like a little 3-year-old. Spoon's like a little 3-year-old having a tantrum.
Yes.
Because he wants what he wants, you know?
Yes.
But it's not necessary for him to have it.
Yes. Absolutely. And just getting back to what we were talking about, because there's a huge sinkhole near St. Thomas, Keisha says, at Magic Mermaid, questioning, I remember that there were sinkholes all over the place, especially Florida. And again, Florida could be one of those, like, Florida doesn't have earthquakes like California does, but if it did, I'm not far from Florida. So if there's an earthquake between Florida and St. Thomas, and Cuba's in the middle of that, and Bahamas is near, if there's an earthquake anywhere in the Caribbean Sea, Florida's going down. Florida's going to break off too.
I can see that being by itself anyway. It don't look like it's supposed to be a part of America anyway.
Florida?
You know? Yeah. It's just like this strange little cut. It just looks like it's supposed to be not there.
That is hilarious.
It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there.
Melissa, I love it. That is hilarious. I'm always like, come on, Florida, get with the program. They actually don't act like they belong to America. I think you're right, Melissa. The people don't act like they belong to America.
No.
I mean, you see what DeSantis is doing, right? It's dismantling Disney. I'm cracking up over that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cracking up. I'm like, this is the funniest shit ever.
And it's just like they're surrounded by water, right?
Yes.
Think about it. They just have a little piece that's in.
Yes.
I'm telling you, if they just move a little bit off, they'd be surrounded by water. They'll be their own little island.
And
pretty much.
And yes, and again, because I think there's some peninsula, so that if there was an earthquake, there is land. They are connected to land, right? Because I think what next to them is Alabama, something like that. But it don't matter. They can break off very, very easily. Very easily.
Yeah.
They just don't have earthquakes like we do. But if you go by the Bible, oh, there's an earthquake coming. So if there's an earthquake coming, what you gonna do about it? Let me see, Florida.
Right.
Let me see something. We just look at this Florida map. It doesn't look like they could break off too easily. Oh, they're close to Georgia. The next state is Georgia, from what I can tell. Let me see this. Yeah. I think Georgia's the next state closest to them. So crazy. But I could see there's some water down here. I could see there could be a break off more more, oh, here it is. There could be a break off around the 3rd, 4th, and 2nd district. If I look at it politically, it could be a break. But again, I'm not trying to kill Florida. I'm just saying, if it can happen in California, it can happen in Georgia too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Because you know what? I mean, like I said, it just looks like a piece where you could just pull off.
Yes.
You know, it'd be its own island or whatever, but it's like they never follow suit anyway. You know?
Yeah, they don't follow the normal rules anyway. It's too funny.
No.
Too funny. Melissa, are you going on today?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be on today.
Okay.
And today I'm gonna start the show in a little while, and I decided to do the evil eye.
Woo!
It's something that we talked about it earlier about the evil eye, like you don't want the evil eye on you. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Let's talk about the evil eye, and we'll talk about different colors that's part of evil eye, right? You got the black or black tourmaline, you got the white part, you got the blue part of the evil eye. So say like you don't have the evil eye bracelet, but you have the stone, you can use that.
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk about that today.
Okay, so tell everyone how they can reach you.
Oh, you can reach me on Instagram at the Melissa Burton Show.
Mm-hmm.
You can just DM me if you like to, and follow. And also, it's the same as on TikTok and stuff. If you like to watch TikTok and stuff, I'm on there. And also, you can call in today to get a free reading from me.
That's right.
And it's at it's 914.
Yes.
205.
Yes.
5699.
Yes.
You're gonna press 1 to be in the queue with me when you get on. Once you press 1, it's gonna say you're in the queue. You know?
Yes.
And that way I see your hand up and I'll answer your question. And if you don't have a question but you just want something general, I can do that too.
Good.
So I'd love to be of service to others on Saturday. So just come on and get your reading, and let's go have fun at 12:30 today Eastern time.
Okay, so I just put it in Melissa Brown Show. Call in 914-205-5699. Press 1 for a free reading today at 12:30.
Yeah, at 12:30 Eastern time.
Okay, so I just posted it, and I'm going to highlight it. Melissa Burton Show. Call in 914-205-5699. Press 1 for a free reading today, 12:30. Okay?
Thank you so much for having me, Tracy. Now I'm going to be and then you know what? I just clicked on I see Magical Mermaid on here with the alligators.
Yes.
And I'm like,
90 seconds.
Repeat that, Melissa. Melissa, repeat that again. You got disconnected.
Okay, so I see on in your live chat, Magical Mermaid, she has like the alligators.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, well, if Florida breaks off, let them keep the alligators.
Ah!
Okay.
60 seconds.
Absolutely. Let the alligators fall in the abyss. Yes. Too funny. All right, guys. We're going to get going. Melissa, thank you once again. Thank you for sharing space. Thank you for showing up. You're so consistent. I honor your presence in my life. And thank you for helping with revelations every single Saturday. I love it. I thank you. The peoples love it. And I feel like we all learn something new every day. Huh?
I said I love it, and thank you so much. And you know, I'm excited about today.
10
We got a
seconds.
psychic today, so everybody better be ready. You know,
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Yes. All right. Tune into Melissa at 12:30 on Blog Talk Radio, guys. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and